too fast. What's up, guys? It's Josh, and I just had to put that little music interlude in there because I've been moving stuff around the house and rocking out to some Airborne, and god damn it, that band is fucking rocking. If you guys have not heard of Airborne, you need to really check them out. If you like good rock music, this is good rock music. It's not in this pussy-ass bullshit they play on the radios nowadays claiming out to be rock. No, Airborne is the best AC/DC since, AC/DC. So yeah, check those guys out. They're fucking rocking. And it's Airborne with a E at the end. So, yeah. So anyways, as you can tell by the title of this video, this is the second part to the first part video that I loaded last week about the most dangerous thing in the world. If you guys haven't seen that video yet, I got an annotation on the screen right here. You can click that and watch that first so you know what I'm talking about, because that one was just a basic generalization of the whole thing. This video, I'm actually going to give you a specific example. And check the video out first, then watch this one, and you'll know what I'm talking about. But I'm sure right now that someone's going to come across this video and they're going to label me as a asshole, a prick, a racist, and everything, because why? They have fallen for the media trap and have no idea of what really happened in this situation. So, I'm going to let you know everything here. And what I'm talking about is the Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman shooting thing that happened about a year ago. Here's a picture of Trayvon Martin on the left and George Zimmerman on the right. What had happened? Well, what was reported in the media is that Trayvon Martin was coming home from the convenience store. All he had on him was a Arizona sweet tea, or an Arizona tea, and a bag of Skittles for his younger brother. And he was viciously gunned down by George Zimmerman for no reason. And look at this picture. Who would want to shoot that sweet child there on the left? Who would want to do that? What kind of heartless asshole would want to do that? Right? Well, no. Well, why? Because what you heard in the media is not what really happened. Yes, Trayvon Martin was living at his dad's house and he did have Skittles and a sweet tea on him. Yes, he was shot by George Zimmerman. But George Zimmerman did not just attack Trayvon Martin for no reason. After looking through a bunch of stuff, looking online to try and get the actual story and whatever, what basically happened is this. Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin's dad live in a gated community. Recently in this gated community, there have been several break-ins, robberies, and all this sort of shit. A bunch of people always getting away, walking around, being up to no good, breaking in, stealing people's shit, and getting away with it. George Zimmerman was the only person to kind of volunteer to be part of the neighborhood watch. George Zimmerman is also a concealed carry license holder in the state of Florida, and he had had to call the cops several times previously to report suspicious activity and behavior, like a lot of times. What had happened on this night is George Zimmerman was running an errand in his personal vehicle. He saw Trayvon Martin kind of walking around. It was raining outside. He saw him walking around, walking through the rain. He had never seen the kid before. I say kid lightly. He was actually 17 when it happened. But he had never seen him before, so he thought he looked suspicious. So what he did is he called up the cops and told the cops that he thinks there's someone suspicious here. He sat in his car, watched him walk around. At one point in time, while talking to the cops, George Zimmerman got out of the car, went to follow Trayvon Martin. He kind of lost Trayvon Martin, and the cops, the dispatcher told him, "We don't need you to follow him." He said, "Okay," so he stopped. Then after that, at some point in time, a scuffle broke out between Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman, in which George Zimmerman ended up having to shoot Trayvon Martin. Cops came, they took reports, they interviewed eyewitnesses and stuff. That was that. They didn't arrest George Zimmerman because they didn't feel they had substantial evidence in the case. And then when the media found out about this, the media started to play everything as if it was all completely 100% race-inspired, that George Zimmerman had a vendetta out against this kid, that he called him an effing coon, which he never said that in the videotape. And I'll give you a little more backstory here. Every time George Zimmerman would call the 911 dispatcher, he would never mention race until he was asked. In this thing, he said, NBC released a video, or a recording of the 911 audio that said, "There's a guy walking around here, he looks suspicious, or he's on drugs or something, just walking around in the rain, and he looks black." What actually happened is that he said there's a guy walking around here. He looks suspicious out in the rain. He's on drugs or something. The dispatcher says, "Can you see what race he is?" He goes, "He looks black." NBC deliberately edited that out so it sounded like everything was racially based. First thing that the media did wrong. Second thing, you see this picture here of him, Trayvon Martin? Look how young and sweet and stuff he looks. Well, yes, exactly. He looks young and sweet. Why? Because that picture was taken when he was fucking 12 years old. That wasn't a current picture of him. I'm going to load up some more current pictures of him so you can get a better idea of what he actually looked like at the time of the shooting. You see these pictures? Now tell me why would the media not want to use these pictures, but they want to use the one where he looks all young and sweet? So they could control people's emotions. They wouldn't want to use the actual real life pictures of what he is now because it doesn't evoke the same amount of emotional outrage that it does with the young child sweetness picture, right? Here's a picture of George Zimmerman after the confrontation. What George Zimmerman claims to happen, and what is corroborated by a couple of witnesses there, is that George Zimmerman stopped following Trayvon Martin when he was told to stop following. At some point in time, Trayvon looped back around and attacked George Zimmerman and ended up bloodying his back of his head and his face here. Here are a couple pictures of that. The one you can see him obviously sitting in a police car on that, wearing that same outfit that happened that night. Another one you can see the back of his head. He was took a stress test and interrogated, interviewed, questioned, whatever you want to call it, for 5 hours. He was not arrested because the cops could not think of any. They did not have a substantial enough evidence to arrest him. Ever since then, George Zimmerman has been accused of being racist. The police department has been accused of being racist. There's been all those nonsense fucking marches and shit from people who don't have correct information acting like this kid is the victim, when in all actuality, we don't fucking know. Everything George Zimmerman says could possibly be true. We don't know. You can't just assume that because it was a young kid picture in the news that it didn't happen the way George Zimmerman said it. That's bullshit. Okay? So what has happened now is, since there's such ridiculous outrage, the FBI glommed on, district attorney glommed on or something, and they end up arresting George Zimmerman under pressure from the people in the country. Not because, the cops already said there wasn't sufficient information. Now they're going and re-interviewing people, and of course people's accounts of the situations are changing constantly. People are saying stuff that's different. People's parents are saying, no, the police told my kid to say something, even though a kid first interviewed said that he saw Trayvon Martin on top of George Zimmerman beating him, and his mom saying, no, the cops pressured his kid to saying that. Are we supposed to believe that? No. There was a 911 call released where you can hear someone screaming in the background for help, 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 help. Everyone is trying to say that, oh, that obviously that's Trayvon Martin, but when his neighbor and a couple other people witnessed Trayvon Martin on top of George Zimmerman pounding on him, I don't think Trayvon Martin would be yelling help at that point. So it's supposed to be George Zimmerman yelling help, but we don't actually know. Okay? So the media, this case right here just shows you how ridiculous the media has gotten with twisting quote-unquote facts. They edit facts. They edit evidence to sway people's opinion. I feel bad for George Zimmerman. Maybe he did it, maybe he didn't, but I feel bad because there is no possible way he will be able to have a fair trial now because the media has fucked him so bad. This guy could potentially have been innocent under the law and, now get screwed over. And for everyone that thinks Trayvon Martin is such an angel, his autopsy was found to have THC in the system, which that is an active ingredient in marijuana. So that goes to show you he isn't all that much of an angel because marijuana is still illegal. Alright guys, form your own opinions. Thanks for watching. I kind of ran out of time while I was recording that video, so I had this little addendum here. Yeah, so I'm sure you guys are probably wondering, well, what do you feel in this situation? Who did what? Who did it? Is George Zimmerman innocent? Is he guilty? Whatever. I don't know. That's the thing. None of us know. The media has made it so ridiculously outrageous that we can't make our own conclusion. They want you to feel a certain way when, in fact, it may not be that way at all. Do I know that George Zimmerman is guilty? No. Do I know that George Zimmerman is innocent under the law? No. But what I do know is that it sure as fuck isn't the same situation that the media has portrayed it to be the entire time. Wake up, people. Don't believe what the media is telling you. You can't do it. They don't report the correct news. They don't report the facts, they report their opinions, and they want to sway your opinions. I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll find out when he is judged by a jury of his peers whether or not he's innocent or guilty. I don't think he's going to have a fair trial, but I know he didn't. It's not what happened the way the media portrayed it that happened. And as far as you guys come on here going to call me a racist, take a look in the fucking mirror. You're the one that's assuming I'm racist. I'm not racist. It's you. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.